This is some interesting news to hear. Actually, I think I should probably rewind you guys back a few years to give you a little bit of backstory to this, because I feel like it's somewhat relevant to this story. You see, a few years ago, back when I first started doing political commentary, I was a small channel. I didn't even have, I think I was maybe just monetized, but I might not have even been monetized yet, because I don't think I had enough watch hours or enough, monthly viewership yet. I was a much smaller channel. It was right when I started doing politics. And I covered a very big content creator, especially at the time, by the name of Geeks+Gamers. Now, Geeks+Gamers is actually, the name of, a group of people, but the main guy who's the spokesperson of it, D-Day Cobra, I think is the name he goes by, at least online. He's, a real grifter. You know, it's very obvious he's chasing the money. And the best example of this is the fact that he is a very clear ripoff of No Bullshit. For those that don't remember, back in 2014 to 2017, one of the biggest reactionary anti-SJW channels out there was this guy named No Bullshit, who was a dude that would make Rant Sona videos with a muscular flannel guy with a bull's head photoshopped onto it. Eventually, his real appearance leaked. He would JQ in his videos, and people just kind of realized what a dumbass he was. He ended up debating a few people and getting blown the fuck out. To give you an idea of how much of a lolcow, No Bullshit ended up becoming, he ended up debating and getting blown the fuck out by other people in the go woke, go broke sphere. Mahler has debated him and blown him the fuck out. That is how much of a laughingstock he is, that even people who make content in that same area don't like him. If you compare someone like Geeks+Gamers to No Bullshit, someone like Geeks+Gamers will get upset because you're calling out you're calling out the fact that they are retreading a grift that has long since failed for one of the most embarrassing people on all of YouTube. That said, though, I covered some videos that this guy did a while back on an actress named Brie Larson. Brie Larson is just an actress. She's just a lady who plays characters in movies. She's in a friend of mine's favorite movie, Scott Pilgrim. I think she's actually, didn't she win an Oscar for a movie or something? She's apparently a pretty good actress. I've actually only ever seen her in Scott Pilgrim and, son of a bitch, was she in... She was in 21 Jump Street, wasn't she? I think she was. Yeah, she was. Okay. Yeah, I watched that with a friend fairly recently, and I thought I saw her in that movie. I was like, oh god, chuds are gonna lose their shit, you know? Thank god this movie came out in 2013. Okay, yeah, so she was in that. Good to know. From what I've seen, she's a fine actress. She seems to be pretty well accredited and everything. The issue is, she's a woman, and she has said some somewhat feminist or progressive sounding things during events and on stage. And she played this character called Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel is seen as this feminist icon by the right for no other reason than because she is a strong female character that a lot of young women look up to, and a lot of people who are women that watch Marvel were hyped about because she's the most prominent female superhero to come out of Marvel, at least the MCU, insofar as that. Besides maybe Black Widow, who at that point didn't even have her own solo movie yet. So it's Captain Marvel was pretty much it, right? The chuds lost their shit about this, and one of the people who is the most blatant in his grift of trying to monetize people's rage about this actress was Geeks+Gamers. So much so to the extent that this man has made, I shit you not, let's check. Let's actually count them up, because it's been a while. He might have made more. All right. Look at that. These are all, everyone that you see with this logo and this name is his channel. These are all videos on Brie Larson. We'll see a few other channels from or videos from other channels come up, because that's how YouTube recommended works now. It sucks. See, it does these little, islands of previously watched content. It's weird. But yeah, you could see, literally Here's more. Here's more. We get more content from channels that do the same content as him, but then we see, if we scroll down further, that there's more. This is another channel they do. It's hard to tell which one of these are from Geeks and Gamers and which one of these are from the other, like, grift channels, but you can see there's been a long-standing... The quartering, of course. 13 days ago? Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. We did this a while ago, and some of them might have been taken down, funnily enough. But this guy has literally made hundreds of videos on Brie Larson. It's actually insane how many videos he's made. Actually, let me try this. This will be a better way to see. Wait, did they get rid of... How does this site keep getting more dog shit? They've removed the bar for searching a keyword in a person's video catalog. They just recently brought back sort by oldest, which of course they had to take away for no reason. Press the arrow? Oh, there we go. Oh, hell yeah, thank you. It is still there. They just hit it. Fantastic. Oh boy, here we go. These are all videos by Geeks and Gamers with Brie Larson in the metadata. Look at that. We're still going. And I think now we're finally getting out of it. There we go. There's probably a few more in there. Protect feminism. Blind Wave hates geeks and gamers. That's a nice title. I like that title and thumbnail. Anyway, this guy made like hundreds of videos on Brie Larson. So back in 2019, even back then, he'd had a massive catalog of videos on her. So I made a stream where I made fun of him for it, right? Thing is, though, I wake up the next morning just to find that YouTube has dropped a false strike on my channel for hate speech of all things on my stream covering Geeks and Gamers and his obsession with Brie Larson. I got a false strike, and the reason I know it's a false strike is because 3 years later, just a couple months ago, I was able to get YouTube's attention on Twitter, and they acknowledged it was a false strike and finally removed it. But I spent literally the last few years since 2019 with a false strike on my channel that has significantly suppressed my channel's ability to grow and reach people in the algorithm. And the crazy thing is, it happened to me again a month later. I had 1 month of no false strike on my channel, and then I got hit with another false strike just recently on, for hate speech, once again, on a video that is called, and I quote, Xan takes on the Nazi Horde debate mode on Omegle. It's a video where I'm debating Nazis, and I got false striked for hate speech, and in the message they gave me for the strike, they say, learn how to combat hate speech in your country. Apparently in my country, you can't combat hate speech by arguing against it. Apparently that's not allowed. Anyway, the false strikes are very blatant, and they've been affecting lefty channels very hard lately. Dylan Burns has gotten like 4 different false strikes since I've known him for covering COVID misinfo and hate speech. Vosh has gotten multiple false strikes for the same thing. Demon Mama has gotten multiple false strikes for the same thing. This is my 3rd or 4th false strike for the same thing. Left and right, like every other week, it seems like another lefty channel has just gotten a false strike that they can't get removed from their channel, and they need everybody in the lefty sphere on Twitter to boost their tweet at YouTube to get any chance of having it resolved. Otherwise, they have a significant handicap on their channel. That is the life of being a lefty YouTuber, because the fact is, the content that you're going to be responding to constantly, blatantly breaks YouTube's TOS. Conservative channels break YouTube's TOS pretty much constantly. And so to cover their videos without the types of protections these massive money-making conservative channels have can be quite dangerous. It's a recipe for constant false strikes because YouTube's bots are detecting the content you're responding to and punishing you for it. But those bots don't comb over the massive money-making right-wing channels that you're covering. So, with that said, considering that Geeks and Gamers recently has kind of fallen off, and by that I mean he's not really getting as much views lately, he's not making YouTube as much money, it should come as no surprise that just like with Stefan Molyneux and several other right-wing figures they only ever cared to ban once they fell off and were no longer like anywhere near as big as they were in their peak, Geeks and Gamers has apparently been demonetized. There are a couple videos on this on YouTube, and people have been tweeting about it, but this one in particular caught my eye. This video is called Geeks and Gamers Gets Demonetized. People Celebrate. Anti-SJW reactionaries getting what they deserve? ? That's an interesting one. Woke YouTube attacks Geeks and Gamers. The shocking truth revealed. This is an interesting one. Let's check this one out. We've got a guy who fits the phrenology. We really got a guy that fits the reactionary phrenology here. They always look the same. Why do these guys always look the same?
What's up, guys? I wanted to touch on this subject that I saw today. A popular channel by the name of Geeks and Gamers that focuses on critiquing and giving discussion on the woke narrative in movies.
Is that what he does? It's a discussion channel, you see. A very honest, well thought out discussion channel.
TVs, games, you name it. Basically nerd culture, mainstream media, very similar to the type of content that I've shifted over to starting in January. In fact,
yeah, it makes a lot of money, doesn't it?
Geeks and Gamers is an inspiration for the type of content that I've started doing.
Yeah, we know.
With this whole anti-woke movement and all this stuff. You know, the stuff that you guys call me a wannabe quartering about, right? They're all part of my inspiration. Melanie Mac, Quartering, Drunk 3PO,
The Butter
Geeks and
Girl.
Gamers, Vera Dark, those types of channels.
This is the new, like, skeptic community, by the way. This is the new Gamergate skeptic community. The Butter Girl, the Quartering, the Quartering, the Basement Pisser, this guy, Geeks and Gamers, the guy who's made hundreds of videos on Brie Larson. These grifting losers who practically admit that they're grifting in every other video. These are the people that are doing a shit ton of the legwork for popularizing conservatism. Like these guys in the Andrew Tate sphere, primarily. Yeah, It's a Gundam, Mauler, Critical Drinker, those types.
Channels. Well, today,
no bullshit. Back when he was
they
big.
got demonetized. You can see they put on a community post that YouTube hit the channel with a community guidelines warning on an unlisted video from 2019, and they are officially demonetized, which is a sad situation.
That's funny. That's actually really funny because 2019 was when I got the false strike for covering their content. By the way, like the content these people make is blatantly against TOS. The things they are making videos complaining about is the concept of like minorities and representation in media. Oh yeah, Heels versus Babyface is a good example of one of these like screamy grift. Heels versus Babyface is embarrassing. I watched one of his videos recently. He breaks out into like a screaming fit about how things have gone woke. Like he'll start yelling at the camera, impassioned about how he's mad about things going woke. It's crazy. It's really embarrassing. It's like full on neckbeard baby rage.
Now, we all know how YouTube is with its guidelines and everything, and they lean a little bit more towards the lefty, wokey side of things, you know, the safe spaces, the you can't say anything that's labeled as hate speech, you know, that type of crap. Now,
yes, because unfortunately, if you have a platform full of child porn and Nazis, it tends not to result in the platform making a lot of money or having a lot of users. So most popular platforms tend to ban certain types of speech. Yeah, TOS exists for a very good reason. Look at Twitter right now. It's not exactly doing too hot.
They did go on to say that it said that it had no impact on the channel, but now the entire channel is demonetized, and that they feel this is a glitch, and that it will be fixed, but they have no...
Wait, is there any evidence then? Wait, just getting a community guidelines warning, which is literally what I got on my channel falsely just like a week and a half ago, and what I got when I covered his videos, did not demonetize my channel. They like, getting demonetized is a whole like thing. They send you an email and all that. Has he actually provided any evidence that he's been demonetized, or could he very well literally just be lying? Because there's no evidence that, like, there's no way to prove that he's lying, by the way. Like, even if you demonetize your channel, YouTube would still run ads and mid-rolls on it. So that wouldn't, like, there still being ads wouldn't be proof. You just wouldn't know where the ad money is going. He could literally just be doing this to try to drive up engagement and make more money. He did a live stream yesterday saying they got their monetization back. Oh, so they've gotten remonetized. Good to know that YouTube does not care about people breaking TOS in their platform. So apparently Geeks and Gamers has since been remonetized by YouTube. That's good to hear. YouTube has reinstated their monetization. This is content YouTube has actively put their name behind. God, there is such an imminent adpocalypse coming. There is such an imminent adpocalypse coming, it's not even funny. Let's see the content Geeks and Gamers has been making lately. Indiana Jones 5 is worse than you can imagine. Flash and Elemental may lose 200 million each. Let's look at the stuff that actually has a lot of views. Dr. Disrespect slams Hassan Piker. Call of Duty boycott gets worse. Praising homophobia. Let's see. Pokimane gets wrecked by Twitch CEO after massive backlash. Misogyny. Call of Duty goes silent after fans roast them. Homophobia. Elemental, Pixar's worst opening ever. Probably some anti-woke shit. Flash to lose 300 million even after Batman can't save this movie. James Gunn panics. No views. 190 views. More pro Dr. Disrespect being homophobic stuff. Let's actually just look at the stuff that has views, because that's the right-wing stuff. More pro Dr. Disrespect stuff. More pro Dr. Disrespect. Anti-Pokimane. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse banned in the Middle East over identity politics. Call of Duty caught deleting more tweets. Garth Brooks trashes country music fans over Bud Light boycott, hating trans people. Yeah, this guy seems to be breaking YouTube's TOS in just about every other video. Remember, guys, YouTube does not actually care about any progressive values. The TOS exists only to keep YouTube existing at a level of non-offensiveness to the public-facing, like, advertisers and everything, and to the media, that they can still make a decent enough amount of money. Wait, so this guy went full anti-Spider-Verse? That's bold? No, he didn't go anti-Spider-Verse. He just did the whole, like, half anti-Spider-Verse thing. They couldn't win on that front, so they had to basically say that, like, the left was pulling, like, grabbing at straws by saying that the movie is pro-progressivism or pro-trans because of the... Like, they went from hating the save trans kids or protect trans kids sign to saying that it's, like, inconsequential, and the left is, like, getting too happy about it. YouTube also removed the blocked channels feature, so now you can't remove blocked channels you don't want to see. Wait, really? Oh my god. Isn't there also a YouTube... like, Google's getting sued right now for advertiser stuff. Google lawsuit. Like, Google is a very dishonest company, and they've been operating the last, the last few years, but particularly since that new CEO came on, have been operating very, like, two-facedly. Yep, here it is. Yeah, so right now, Google is being sued because people have been paying to... It has to do with their advertising, to get, like, advertising sent to the top of their own pages, like their own ads, basically abusing their own system. It's deeper than that, but the lawsuit's for, like, $20 million. It's super deep, but yeah, Google's been getting, like, sued and has been not exactly applying their TOS fairly lately and reinstating far-right channels. I think, Steven Crowder was the one that they reinstated. Steven Crowder got a strike on YouTube, and they took the strike off. It was for one of his minstrel shows that he does. Steven Crowder got a strike for doing a minstrel show, but then YouTube revoked it because Steven Crowder's a big channel. Let's see if we can find the clip. The video got taken down, but I think, oh my god, there's no clips on YouTube. It's so racist that I think clips of it have been taken off YouTube, and I might get memed for showing it. Okay, we got an image at least. The fact that Steven Crowder has enough money that he's able to make it so you can't find anything other than an image of this video goes to show how powerful these people are and how effective the grift is. Andrew Tate's done the same thing with the clips of him admitting to sex trafficking and rape. Doesn't matter, though. He's still fucked. But, yeah, these people can literally pay Google to suppress this shit to the extent that, like, all you can find is a grainy image. But, yeah, he was forced to take this down, but YouTube didn't actually penalize him because he's a massive channel that makes a ton of money. Let's see. What else? There was, of course... Oh, yeah, we got another image of it, at least. Here's a slightly higher quality image of him and his host. He did this on YouTube, by the way. And YouTube gave him, like, the most light slap on the wrist you could possibly imagine. This is him, like drowning a white blonde baby, by the way. That's the bit he's doing here. He's got a cup of water and a doll that's like blonde and white. And so the stereotype he's doing is like dunking and drowning the blonde white woman. Guys, I need you to understand how blatant YouTube's double standard is. If you make them enough money, you can literally be screaming the N-word and burning crosses in black people's yards on YouTube, and they will let you get away with it for a scary amount of fucking time, okay? Like, it is actually fucking insane how willing to let this shit slide YouTube is. And yet they'll penalize lefty YouTubers for covering it.
This week marks...
Oh, you found a clip. Let's go. Here's the clip. So yeah, Steven Crowder, he loves getting those slaps on the wrist from YouTube. YouTube really does not want to actually do anything about this guy. Got another clip here as well. This one never got him penalized, I believe. Or no, I think it did. I think it got him penalized, but then he, like, immediately was able to get it, like, walked back by YouTube. Because his fans just started harassing them on Twitter.
I don't know where you find this many farmers of color. But they did, and 5.2 billion are being allocated exclusively.
Yeah, if I get a strike for this video, then it kind of proves the video's point, doesn't it?
For colored farmers.
There's a decent chance that I get striked. 2016 was a strange time. These are from much more recent than 2016. These are from like 2019, 2020. The funny thing is, this is literally from when COVID's happening because the mask's in the background. The funny thing is that, like, Crowder's still up on YouTube. He's still like, yeah, you're about to hear a pretty racist rant, by the way.
Farmers of color, roll the tape.
We begin today's show looking at a major provision in President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill that aims to address decades of discrimination against Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian American farmers who've historically been excluded from government agricultural programs. The American Rescue Plan sets aside $10.4
Obviously, everything Steven Crowder is about to say in his racist rant is has been very much proven wrong with several, like, historical breakdowns with, like, U.S. history and, like, policy making around, like, farmers and everything. Like, there's been deep takedown videos of this rant he's about to go on, but it's pretty fucked.
$1 billion for agriculture support and allocates about half the
also
funds
white
to farmers of color.
White farmers had already gotten these subsidies, by the way. This movement was to, like, this bill was to make it so that non-white farmers would get it.
Who are, quote, subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice because of their identity as members of a group, unquote. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights confirmed as long ago as 1965 the U.S. Department of Agriculture discriminated against black farmers, but little was done to address the problem.
100 years ago?
Yeah, most happy about the new policy, these people. So, yeah. I'm gonna buy a plow, man.
I'm going to plant that corn.
Go get a John Deere. Barack Obama, mother, I'm the president of plowing that ass. You.
I thought the last thing they would want to do was be farmers. Wasn't that a big problem for hundreds of years?
Yeah.
Isn't that why Arsenio Hall called himself the urban man's Johnny Carson?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Are people lining up out in the middle of cornfield, Iowa for new dunks?
How would you prove this, by the way? Like, how would you prove that you've been discriminated
You don't
against?
have to. You just
Well, I
say.
didn't get that loan. Sir, you had no credit. Well, that should not have stopped me from getting the loan.
I planted a Hennessy tree, but it's not growing.
Well, technically it did grow, but that shit ain't XO.
I put it in the ground.
I planted a VSOP XO tree. I'm getting in some niche esoteric cognac humor, motherfucker.
Don't white people just go to their neighborhoods and build urban farms and ruin their communities? Isn't that what white
That's how it works.
In Detroit. Turns out the soil content, there's a high level of meth.
Yeah, crazy.
Whoa. Wow, I didn't know.
That and teeth.
There's
random teeth littered everywhere.
And by the way,
pain in my arugula.
Yeah, so it's not great. Not great. Not fantastic. YouTube's just kind of let this stuff slide for a long time. Obviously, we've gone over a lot of the more recent genocide rants about trans people from Daily Wire. They're still pretty big and fully monetized as far as I know. So yeah, it's just like YouTube doesn't really give a shit. And the thing about it that's sad is it's not even that I'm upset that this stuff exists in the platform. Its existence in the platform, that's content for me to cover, that's content. The sad part of it is that it existing on the platform is going to lead to an inevitable adpocalypse again. Like, how many times do we have to do the same cycle over and over again where YouTubers start, like, getting super fucking edgy, and the culture around YouTube gets really goddamn edgy, and then some big YouTuber does something like PewDiePie saying the N-word, or doing some dumb stunt that ends up causing a big adpocalypse because it brings a bunch of media attention to the fact that YouTube is platforming a ton of hate speech. It happened as well with Christchurch, where the Christchurch shooter who murdered 50 people in the name of the Great Replacement wrote an entire manifesto about how he was radicalized by content on YouTube, and that basically spurned the rise of BreadTube in a large part, was that shooting and all the media coverage it got. And the discussion around radicalization through online content was what caused the sort of rise of BreadTube. And then, of course, lefty content creators can't handle good things, and so all that kind of fell off, and now the right is once again prominent online, just in a very minorly different form. But YouTube doesn't care, and the same thing's going to happen again. Like, do you really think that after Andrew Tate has been convicted for sex trafficking and rape, all of those Andrew Tate clip channels and stuff aren't going to be a problem for YouTube? Like, what happens when headlines such as YouTube platforming millions of clips from convicted sex trafficker and rapist Andrew Tate, many clips of which are him explaining how to do his sex trafficking schemes? How's that going to fly? How's that going to fly for YouTube advertisers? And when that doesn't fly for YouTube advertisers, as you should be able to guess, how's that going to go for content creators? How much lower can our CPMs get? That's the game at this point. How much lower can our CPMs get? How many fewer ads can we get on the platform? YouTube doesn't care about it. They just care about the short term. They don't care about any creator's long-term well-being. But these creators are stupid, and they don't see the future either. They don't look ahead at all either. So they just want to be, like, super edgy and have a good time. They aren't putting into perspective what kind of effect this is going to have on the ability to do YouTube as a career for everybody going forward, right? it's going to fail. It'll all end in a grand spectacle, Xanderhal. We just have to hold strong. Well, it's not. I know that the right-wing era of like cultural domination we're in right now is going to end. That I know. You don't have to tell me that. I've been saying that for months. But what I am worried about is the fact that this content existing, like the pro-Putin stuff, the pro-Russia stuff, anti-vax stuff, conspiracy shit, hate speech stuff, all of it going under YouTube's radar because it's making them enough money. It's going to cause an adpocalypse. Transphobia is a big one that's going to be rife for another adpocalypse. It's not, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. This is going to hurt every YouTuber, political or not, if there's another adpocalypse. And trust me, with how low CPMs have been lately, we do not need another adpocalypse. We just don't. Even if you're against TOS in principle, you should be in favor of its application here, just so that your favorite YouTubers, or if you're a YouTuber, you can continue to do this as a job. Like, that's the long and short of it.